What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is what you need to know about the new Titan mode. We're a few days into it. You can see right here, it's Undertaker Day, so we've kind of on day 4, which means, you know, some of you have already figured this out. I get it. Merrick's already made an amazing video on this. I get it. But I wanted to make sure I was able to share my tips, tricks, thoughts on Titan mode and give a quick how to. So first of all, where do you find Titan mode? It's tucked in career mode. This is a daily mode. At least, you know, as far as you can see, 1 day missing. I don't know if there's a day off, but at least 6 days a week, this is going to be something you do, which my first thought and impression with Titan Takeover has been, this is a great weekend mode. It feels like a lot when you're talking about every single day. Hopefully the game adjusts and balances. I never want to complain about there being too much to do in the game, but if you're in my faction, like, this is a required mode every single day that you use all 5 energy. So that could be an hour play just to do Titan mode every day, and the rewards from it are okay. We'll get there, right? So you find it in the career tab right here on the very top. The road, a lot of you guys are done or mostly done with that. These are the old daily modes. These auto clear if you didn't know by clicking your bag. And then Showdown is just useless. There's no reason to play it at all. And then you've got your club if you've got that. So there are a lot of daily modes, but these ones get cleared away anyway. So basically, this is now your primary mode. And a lot of you saw, by the way, there's going to be female Titans. Just, you know, it shows right there. Just they're not in there right now. But a lot of you saw Merrick's video where he said this is the most important mode in the game, period, now to do daily. So let's understand what we're doing with it. So the Titan is going to be a daily experience, and you'll see who they are throughout the week. And of course, your classes, because this will also dictate who you choose to use, which I'll get to in a moment. So you have your main screen, looks good. You can see who you're going up against. You've got a link to your Titan shop, which again, we'll get to in just a moment. And then you'll notice you've got different tiers. So this Titan was KO'd by other content creators because they're working on content like I am now for this. So you'll see, like, once your faction KOs a tier, you can go into it and fight it, but realistically, you want to go in and unlock the best. Trick number 2 in this, one thing that my faction is doing is we're not getting to tier 5. That seems fairly unbeatable at this point for us, but we're getting there, right? So right now, the requirement for our faction is to do 1 tier 3 battle. We've got somebody who wipes out the 1, 2, and 3 on their own, so that the rest of the faction can get what they need. So we do 1 tier 3 battle, and then everything else is focused on tier 4. Because tier 3, there's a chest that gets you some hype coins. Tier 4, there's a chest that gets you some hype coins. And tier 5, there's a chest if you can get to tier 5, right? So you can see in here your damage rewards. This is what you're going to get for each one. Tier 4, you're getting, you know, your hype points here and your new Titan currency, but it starts with tier 3. So you want to kind of go from there. That's your tier forwards. Starts with tier 3 right here, then tier 4, and then we can expand out tier 5 right there. So this is where you're getting Titan currency. If you're able to do a tier 5, you basically get like a 10 pull of hype each day, sometimes give or take with it, right? But if you at least do a tier 4 and you do the daily stipulation tour, you can still get pretty close to a 10 pull every single day that this is available. So you kind of see, if you hit 270 million on a tier 4, this is what you get. If you can hit 1.35 billion, this is what you're going to get, and it kind of tiers out from there. Those are your rewards, right? So this is where you get hype currency, which is why people are saying this is one of the most important modes in the game. Okay, so now, how do we fight the Titan? So you go into it. I'm going to go against a tier 4 because someone, probably Sir Zoro, unlocked this. And you'll notice right off, you need to have a hyped superstar. I do not, although I will here in a second. I'll show you, but I don't have a hyped superstar on here. But you need a hyped superstar in this spot every day. So whatever they require, then you're going to need that. So basically, just like in the old days where we were telling people, hey, you need to have a female and a male at 6-star gold in every class and every subtype, that is now also true for hype, but you only need them hype level 1 at this point. So it's not that big of a deal, except, for example, on my personal account last night, I was fighting against this Undertaker at tier 4, and this requirement is there, and one of the better ones to use is Showboat Gunther. I don't have hype on Showboat Gunther, so I was not able to use him at all. The other thing you need to know is once you use a character, they are no longer available for the next round. So if you got 5, normally it's going to be 3, I hear. If you have 3 energy to go up against the Titan, you are going to need 3 of each class that you want to use at least a hype level 1. And similarly, on the secondary spot, it's not requiring a class, but it is requiring a hype level 1. So again, don't freak out about that. The more you play this mode, the more hype you'll get, the more characters you'll get to hype level 1. And 1 is 10 hype, so it's really, really not that big of a deal to get in. But you need to know that you need 3 to 5 showboats at least hype level 1, males, and keep in mind, there will be female titans at some point. You're going to need your females there as well. And then you're going to need just a grouping of people that are there as well. So functionally, in a normal reality where you have 3 total energy to go up against the boss, you basically need 6 people each day at a hype. These ones are going to be class specific. These aren't. So theoretically, you need about 10 to 12 hype level 1s to even participate in the full boss Titan event. I'll get to why I said boss here in a second. But anyway, so in order to go up against him, I need Showboat and I need somebody else that's hype level 1. So why not use Penta right here? They did. Thank you. Appreciate it. They did give us enough wild hype to take people up. So we're going to go ahead and do that with the Penta monster here. There we go. Oh, yeah, I can't hype him beyond that because other superstars aren't hyped. I forgot about that. And then let's use another zombie. Let's see. Where's the new zombies? They should be right here up on top. Yeah, fine. Yeah, we can use this one. So there we go. So now we've got hype level 1 on 2 different zombies that we can go up against. Then, once you've done that, you're going to want to make sure your people are set for the boss. So we're going to show it in just a moment, but you are going to have 5 total actions when you go up against the boss. So you want to be thinking about your moveset in 5s, right? This is his boss battle build. No, it's not. Actually, hold on. Yeah, this one is right here. Yeah. So this is his boss battle build, so to speak. And it's going to refill itself. This move is going to go up each time. So we're going to check out the boss Titan, Titan fighter right there, TIE fighters. And then you're going to want to make sure they are loaded out for the best possible setup for him and kind of go in from there. I'll just put a random strap on him. Sorry, I'm going to take it off my other guy, but there we go. There we go. All right, so we've got Penta here. We've got his moves set up. But keep in mind, again, you get 5 actions. So you want to think in your movesets, if it takes all 3 actions for something to happen, that's probably not the best person. So tip number 3 or 4, whatever we're on right now, think in terms of one move that sets up your entire moveset and 2 moves that recycle each other, give or take, because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get 1 setup, 2 moves, you're done. Also, if you use a prop, that counts as an action. We'll get there. So for him, we're going to use the bite, deal damage, increase your yellow MP by 10. So that's going to load the other moves. If you get submitted, that's not really going to matter. This is the boss Titan move right here. Deal damage plus bonus damage for every player turn that is passed. We're going to talk about that, including the current turn for up to 10 turns. And then the Cero Muerto, deal damage, increase your yellow gem damage, and then finisher, deal damage, and make 49 random gems yellow. So I do like to have with Titans, tip number 4 or 5, I do like to have with these Titan builds one move that can just continue itself. So this one is going to drop yellow, which is going to be his primary color, which is great for damage, but it also therefore refills itself and keeps boosting itself and so on and so forth, so that if I get stuck where I only have one more move, if you don't plan your moves out right, you end up having to take a swipe instead of doing something dangerous. So that's important to note, right? So now I've got 2 hype characters, level 1. We're going to go into the boss. We're going to fight a level 4, and I'm going to show you a couple tricks on how to do this. He is not going to matter. I'm going to show you why in just a moment. All right, so I do want to show you one thing. The reason I keep saying boss, if you go into the entourage and you go here, you'll notice these only ever allow you to use the ones that are relevant for that specific mode, and it doesn't do anything as far as I've seen. But it is interesting to me that there's an IOW link to the boss shop currency that you can use. Because obviously I can't use any of the others. So it's saying that this is the right trainer or promoter for this mode, which I just think is funny at this point. That, you know, it's kind of a boss. It's like boss battle minus the boss battle aspects of it anyway. So I think that's funny. Also, I would 100% take a shot in the dark guess that they are going to introduce a series of 6 new IOW characters that are tied to the Titan event, because it's here, right? So anyway, also, if you watched my other video on this, you already know what I'm going to do with it, but this is going to become important in just a moment. So we do need to use energy. You have 5 of them right now. It'll be 3 ongoing. You can bring props, but again, those count as an action. So just so you're aware, right? All right, so we are going to go up against the boss with the 2 wonderful zombies of Penta and Aleister Black. And there's a lot to kind of explain, because this is a very different mode than anything else that has been in Champions. I don't know, some people compared it to Invasion. I never played Invasion, so there you go. Yeah. So this is what we've got. Instead of a pin bar, you have an action bar. You get 5 total actions, and everything you do counts as an action. So if you take a swipe, that's an action. If you use a move, that's an action. If you use a prop, that is an action. You get 5 total, so you want to plan accordingly. For now, Penta has 99 MP. So as you can see, I've got my moves loaded. Normally, I would need to use this to load these 2 moves, which then is your player cycle, right? So with this one, you're just basically increasing your yellow MP by 10. I don't need it, so I'm not going to use it right now. But let's talk about some other gems. Tip number 6-ish. Every time you do a move, it counts as a player turn. And the way you know this is your Juggernaut and your Countdown gems immediately drop by 1, and if they're at their bottom, they resolve no matter what you do. So, for example, I've been using Showboat Sami Zayn, because Showboat Army. And usually, the way I run him is I have him ready to go so that his Juggernaut gems get laid out twice before I hit the finisher, which does a big bada boom, because then you've buffed, the Juggernaut gems have buffed his blue gem color. However, with this, once you do an action, it automatically treats it as another player turn, which resolves, And so therefore, with Sammy in particular, I'm not able to get to the setup where I do all the big juggernauts at once and then go kaboom. So you do also have to think about this when it comes to your damage, because there's certain characters you need to use countdowns or juggernauts or something like that to set up something that will happen the next turn. You do continue to get the buffs from this. So like this is still one cycle, let's just say. So your buffs continue forward, but the actions of the gem resolve. So for example, again, Haku. I used Haku against the boss the first day, and his moveset automatically resolves, so I don't get to hit the finisher ever, which buffs his gems. So Haku needs a different moveset than what I use against every other mode to work in boss battle. Make sense? The other thing, and this is my first time trying it, but I'm going to guess and tell you it's probably this way, right? So this is 10 total turns, right? But these count as turns, I believe, because otherwise you're never going to use this up. Like, you're never going to be able to. I still think like 7 million stacking for 10 turns when you're 400 billion. I still think these moves are way underpowered. Like, this should be a move that does 10 times the amount, or maybe not that much. Maybe it should be 5 times or 4 times, whatever. It should do a lot more than it does, but maybe, again, we'll see when I actually start using it if I don't disagree with myself after I've seen it. And it should only be usable in this mode. Like, if they're worried about this being overpowered in feud and normal matches, fine. Lock it out so it only works in this mode. I'm fine with that. But anyway, so let's count as we go, right? So this is a 7 million bonus damage plus 3 million. So it should hit for 10 million right here. Let's watch. Ting, ting. 7 million. Okay. So there's our 7 million. Now we go back into it. Still says that. So now we're going to hit our finisher. This is going to buff our yellow gems, and it's going to make the board yellow, which is a self-refilling move. As I mentioned, I really like those. So there you go. Now we go back in. So it should be 7 million plus 7 million bonus damage. So we should see 14 million if this does it right. I couldn't see it. I'm going to have to start counting. I don't know. But now, as you can see, we're going through. Boom. Boom. Everything is yellow. Everything is yellow. He's busted the board. And we've got one more action. So here's where, tick or number 7 is. It's actually a rehash of what I already said, but you want to set up your move set so that when you get here, you can still do something that hits damage. Like, if this move didn't reload itself and all I had left was the green move, I would actually go ahead and hit the green move to reload my moves for the next set. But I've gotten with several characters where the only best thing I can do is take a swipe. And that sucks in this mode, right? It sucks. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this one. See if I'm going to lean in hard. See if I can see this hit for 21 million. So it should drop him below 492 if it does right. Yeah, it hit 21 million. Okay. So yeah, it's stacking each turn as you go. So then the boss does a move. The first move is not going to hurt you all that much, right? It's not going to hurt you too bad. So you're going to be okay. However, the third cycle of the boss's moves is going to destroy you. He also typically will throw out a special type of gem. You want to be able to clear those off the board, because if you don't, the second move the boss does will trigger these, and depending on your character, it might end them. But either way, your character is going to go down turn 3 anyway, just so you're aware. Just so you know, right? Okay, so we're going to blow up the board. That was one action right there. The buffs have reset, theoretically. So right here, you shouldn't be able to keep going from 21 to 28. Although, if you can't, I don't understand how you're ever getting the 10 turns on this. Because, like, it's not like you can buff it, go again, and it doesn't resolve till the board breaks. Like, it's done immediately, right? So We're at 430.06. So it should be like 4280-ish. If it's in the 80-ish range, then we know it did its thing. Nope. So, yeah. So, I don't understand these moves. I don't understand why it's like, yay, this is going to go up to 10 turns when they get cleared. You can literally only use them up to 5 times. That's if you could hit the move and it reloaded itself every single time. So, I think these are broken. If somebody else has explained that better, please put that in the comments section for everybody else to see, because it just doesn't seem to add up, right? All right, so we're just going to blow through this second turn. You're wanting to do as much damage as you possibly can. Obviously, this health pool, if I didn't say it already, is across your faction. So everybody is hitting the dude. All right, let me see if this hits for 14 million. So we can see at 9.5. If it goes down to 8.1... Oh, 8.7. It didn't even go down by 14 minutes. I got to talk to Scopely about this. I don't understand this move, these moves. Like, they don't work or make sense to me at all. So, anyways. Okay. Now, that being said, so here's what we've got with this next move set. He is going to do a move, it's his secondary, that is going to trigger the action of whatever gem type was laid down. So you could see right there, he would have hit 3 to 4 times with all of those power gems, which would have rocked me. Once you get to this cycle where the boss has their finisher, basically blows up the whole board, right? That means you're going to die. Like, your character is not going to survive the next turn. So you want to plan accordingly. Now, I did want to try this out together with a non-hot tag person, but here's a trick that I've already released a video on. Excuse me, but let me clarify here. If the person in the secondary slot has a hot tag, any hot tag whatsoever, and this person is your primary damage dealer, on this turn set right now, right before, like, get to here, but don't do this 5th move, hot tag in the other person on the 4th move, then the Undertaker will destroy them, your secondary person. I'll show it to you in a minute. And then you get to keep going with your primary damage dealer. Yeah, it's a nice little trick. It works out great, but you do have to have the hot tag person in the secondary slot. So to follow up from that video, I just want to make sure that I've added that little commentary on it as well. You do need them in the secondary slot. I'm not going to use, I just want to kind of see here what happens if I don't use the it builds each turn move, because right now I literally don't see the function of them as they're in the game currently. And with this is what I'm talking about on a move that just recycles. So every turn you're going up by 90% and breaking yellow, which is great, right? If I had laid down like a yellow Royal Rumble plate on top of this would be just dang spicy, right? So my recommendation, you get Penta and you're going to use him for bosses in the future. You use this move to get you loaded, and then you just spam this 4 times with a Royal Rumble plate. It's going to hit, it's going to hit, it's going to hit. I personally, I'm very willing to be wrong, and I hope I am, but I personally don't see the point of the Titan moves when they lose their efficacy as you go. All right, so right here, this is where if you had a hot tag, you would want to tag it in. But basically, when you're not using a hot tag, so trick number 8-ish with this, is to see that once you've got this character where they're going to be tagged in the next turn, that means this character is going to get destroyed, right? It doesn't matter how much health you have. I've used guys who have health steal and leech gems and all that so that their health is absolutely full right before the boss, the Titan, does their big hit. You lose right here, period. It's done. It's over, right? Let me know in the comments section if you use those 100% health straps and all these other things, if you can get them to survive. But for me, I have had guys with immense amounts of health, and they die every single time. So we're going to do our one last action here. Boom. This is where you would use the hot tag on that specific move. if you have somebody like Penta who's a destroyer. And also, it has been shown that when you do this, it clears the buffs for the character that's on screen, which means you keep your buff for a second turn. That's another important thing to note on there. But boom, as you can see, doesn't matter how much health you have, that character is done. And now you're up with your your secondary character, whoever they are in that second slot. And then I want to show you something else here. We're going to do some stuff with this. If you have a stun, like it's only going to matter for Aleister Black, and I didn't set it up right anyway, but if you have a stun yourself, I believe it actually eats your turn for that as well. But you can see one more guy where I can just go straight back into it, but it's bonus for every silence, so I need to use this, need to use this, need to use this, need to use this. Subbing the boss doesn't do anything other than, the Titan, other than like in boss battle, you do this and boom, all of a sudden you've got the whole board. So trick number 9, reason I'm using Aleister Black here, is if you have a sub move like this that does the whole board and then something that does bonus damage for every, you're not going to lose any. So think in other modes where you're like, oh my gosh, I got to reduce the turn numbers, I got to do this, I got to do that. This one you don't, because boom, watch, it's just there. Now I get bonus damage for every single gem that's on the board, and then pop, there they go. And now I would need to use all 3 to get me loaded again as we are, but I only have 2. So here's where I have to start thinking strategically. If I use this and then I use this, I'm going to be set up, but the boss will erase. I'm going to go ahead and show you. He's going to erase my gems. So you have to think about the next turn you have as well. Tip number 9, you got to think about your next turn, because watch, when I do this, he's going to lay down his power gems. Almost. And so now I had all this set up, and boom, half my board is done. So I would rather take a swipe on that last turn so that this turn hits harder to make it work. But now, we'll just do it this way. And basically we have 1, 2, 3, and we're going to have an extra move there. So just kind of goes from there. So that's basically it for this. I'm going to let Aleister Black just get whooped real quick so that we can move on and just talk about a few final things with this. But as you can see, hype is very important to this mode. The more hype you have, the harder you are going to hit. And the boss right here has 400 billion health. Tier 5 has 1.4 trillion health. So it's not like you're going to run out of health on the boss. Oh, this is way too easy, right? Maybe down the road, of course, I'm sure they'll always scale it up. Maybe down the road we get people who are hitting 1 trillion. But this also then says, and boom, here we go. Now Aleister Black is done. This also says those builds that we show sometimes as CCs that are way overpowered, like this is why they're going to start to be more important. In boss Titan Takeover, you are going to want to have as hard a hitting as possible, because right here, all I did with this is 870 million damage, right? Now, purposely didn't set them up with the strap and use their best moves and all that, blah, blah, blah. But you really want to be in the 2 to 10 billion mark for your faction. Now, that may not be realistic right now. This might be your best numbers, and that's okay. Don't shame yourself into thinking like, oh man, I'm not helping my faction if I can't do, 2 or 5 billion. Whatever you can get is what's going to be good, right? Because it's a cumulative damage. So you can see you did 870 million damage right here. The boss is going to have less health than that because your whole faction was in, right? So like Zoro or somebody hit this boss before I did. one of the CCs, because this is the CC account, and unlocked up to tier 4 and then did a little bit of damage on the tier 4. So your faction combined, with your powers combined, you can save the planet, right? That's what you're doing against the boss. It's a cumulative attack across 24 hours with 3 to 5 energy each, and you guys using your best possible guys, although once you use one, they're out and you can't use them again. So, as you can see right here, I no longer have anybody. It says he's out of stamina, right? That's my only hype guy. He's out of stamina. That's why. So you do have to have 3 to 5 in each class and a total of about 12 hype level 1s to fully attack the boss each time. So, did I miss anything? Probably. There's a lot going on with this. But once you start to get the mechanics down, it's pretty simple. The rewards for attacking the boss go to your rewards tab at the end of the day at reset, and you just get the rewards for what you fought. So right now, I would only get the rewards, tip number 10, I would only get the rewards for a tier 4 because that's all I fought. If tier 3 is available, hit the tier 3 once, and then do the rest of your energy on the tier 4. As it goes to 3 and the factions get more proficient at this, you're probably going to want to have somebody designated to beat the tier 1 and the tier 2 because they're not going to get a lot of rewards for that. And then everyone else go 1 on 3, 1 on 4, 1 on 5. That's how you're going to get your maximum amount of rewards for this. Now, my thoughts. So I said it, I'll say it again. This mode feels huge. This feels like it could and probably should replace a weekend mode. Maybe be a 5th weekend mode so that, feuds are a little bit farther between or something like that. Because I like the difference between feud and flash feud, having a boss. So maybe if it were like showdown feud, boss feud, Titan, showdown, feud, Titan, still keeping feud every other month, but it kind of rotates through the rest. It would give me a lot less showdown fatigue, I could tell you that for sure. But it's not. It's a daily mode. As a daily mode, I feel like it's too much. I feel like it's asking for a lot of time every single day, when in addition to that, you also have all of this. So picture Monday. Monday is the biggest day in the game, right? Because all of the tours reset, the victory tours, the weekly tours, they all come out, right? So right now, today, you would need to do this set of tours, which are Steel Cage, which take a little while. This set of tours, if you hadn't done them yet, all of your Sheamus tours for the week, victory tours if you got new characters, lots and lots of tours right here, which tours are the most important and funnest mode in the game. Then you've got your old stuff right here that lasts monthly. You've got faction feud setup coming up. You've got your Germania daily. You've got your speed daily. And on Mondays, you've got your Monday meta tour daily as well. Plus, we're about to have another showdown event that drops when reset happens as of the recording of this video. And then you also have your Titan Takeover. Plus, if you have this, you do it weekly. And I don't think anybody's ever doing this. Showdown's the worst mode in the game at this point. But theoretically, there's a daily showdown here as well. That's a lot. I love there being content. My challenge is, in order to get hype, you have to do the daily hype tour, the speed tour. That takes a bit of time. It's not much, but it does take a little bit of time. And now you have to do 30 to 50, maybe an hour long Titan Takeover every single day. And then you're going to be trying to fit in tours and other things. So for me, I kind of wish this had been a weekend mode, not a weekday or daily mode. But it's fun. I like it. It's got a lot of nuance. It's different mechanics. You have to think through your movesets differently because of the actions versus, just resolving when the gem board gets swiped or broken, pin bar goes, whatever. It just gives you something different to do, and I like that. The amount of time it takes for the reward we're getting right now, I feel like is a little imbalanced. And again, I think it should be I would prefer it as a weekend mode. But that's just me, right? That's just me. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Like this video, share it with your friend and faction mates, even if they've watched Merrick's amazing video. And if you haven't watched Merrick's, go watch Merrick's. Plus, Slim Numbers has some awesome videos on this new mode. And then, just encourage your faction to watch it so that you can all keep getting better, because this is a new daily mode. And if your faction's like my faction, it's now required that you do it every day. So I'll see you on the next one, friends. Let me know what I missed in the comments. Bye.